I do it to be the best at it.
I won my first fight at 8 years old. I feel like I'm supposed to be here.
My dad got cancer, and when he pushes me, I push myself.
No one can stop my shine. Ready to smoke anybody they put in front of me.
I wanted to show the world I deserve to be known as the king of LA.
Welcome back, man. Season 2 of All the Smoke.
We got a real special guest.
What's up with your Brody with the virtual handshake?
I'm gonna tell y'all something that I never told nobody.
I want all the smoke.
Welcome back to another edition of All the Smoke. We got a very special guest today, someone I'm a big fan of. I'm a huge Mike Tyson fan, and this dude from the day he stepped on the scene reminded me of just a smaller version. He's an animal. That jumping left hook knocks plenty of people out. Man, welcome to the show, Tank Davis, man. Thanks for coming in, bro.
Thank y'all for having me.
No doubt. Big fans here. We love what you're doing. You got a big fight coming up, Halloween, on Showtime pay-per-view. You ready for that?
Yeah, I'm definitely ready. You know, training each and every day just to, put on a great performance. You know, this is my first pay-per-view fight, so I'm definitely ready.
You get that pay-per-view money might be a little different. I heard. I don't know shit about it, but I heard that pay-per-view money a little different.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hey, I was at your last fight against Gamboa, and I seen you go to work. A lot of stuff went on in that fight. Actually, when he kind of tore his Achilles, I kind of said something to Steve at the time. I said, man, I think he hurt himself. And I knew you was going to take advantage of him. How do you feel about your performance that fight?
I watched it. I watched a little bit of it. I probably watched it like, once a couple weeks later, and I turned it off. I think that that wasn't my best performance, so that's why now I moved my training camp to, Las Vegas so I could be able to put on a better performance. I think that was bad for my fans. The output that how I fought and things like that. So I'm definitely coming back stronger and better, and this definitely, a makeup for my last fight.
Us as athletes, though, we understand, bro, because, like, a win is a win. You know what I'm saying? We didn't play games or we didn't play like shit and still was able to win by 1 or 2 points. So a win is a win as a professional athlete. So we understand. We go back to the drawing board and come back better. So, bro, we're going to be fans. We supporting you, dog.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
What is it like trying, like you said, you've moved your camp to Vegas. What is it like trying to focus in this day of, Jack and I kind of caught the tail end of it in our NBA careers, but this social media world is fucking insane. So what is it like trying to manage all the outside noise, knowing that you're preparing each and every fight to be your biggest fight you've ever had?
It's really not. I was always like coming up, just coming up, period. I was always that kid that know when the time to buckle down and things like that. Like, I know when it's time to get serious. I know how to focus, no matter what's going on around me. That's what made me so special and why I came so far and, things like that. Me coming up, I had a lot of people older than me, was already in the streets and things like that. So, and I watched my coach and them tell them, give them advices and things like that, and they still done it and they wind up getting killed. So I think that was, the best part, of me, because, me just be able to, stay focused, and saying it as a young age. So when it's time like this now, I could be able to stay focused no matter what's going on outside the world, but once I'm locked in, I'm locked in.
Absolutely. You mentioned it a little bit, obviously losing people along the way. Rough childhood in Baltimore. Take us back to your childhood and what the scene was like and what actually inspired you to get into boxing.
Coming up, normal, just an inner city kid, mother, father was on drugs and things like that. And, my mother left us in the house by ourselves, and Protective Service, they came, grabbed us and things like that, and they split us up, and once my grandma fought to get us back, and I was always the aggressive one because I was younger, so I was much more aggressive than my oldest brother, and I was always fighting a lot. I used to fight for my brother, because we was the new kids on the block, and we was brought up under our grandma. We didn't have like our mother and father, so it was like stuff that we had like Reeboks, and people had like kids had Jordans and Nikes and things like that. So I always used to fight. I used to fight in school. So one time I was fighting in front of my house, and my uncle so happened to walk out the door, and he seen me fighting. So he took me to the boxing gym. You know,
How old were you? Not to cut you off. How old were you at that age?
I probably was about, I want to say like 7.
Oh, damn.
I was 7.
Early.
It must have been a flawless victory.
Right.
Yeah. So we was fighting and things like that. So he took me to the gym, and when I was going to the gym, it wasn't really about the fighting or boxing at that time. It was really about, you know, me getting that love at the gym that I wasn't getting at home, because my grandma, she was, you know, she was moving around too much and things like that, so she didn't have time for us. So I just got that love. I got that father figure. I had other kids in the gym, like brothers and things like that. So I was always fighting in the gym too. So I just grew up, and you know, they started being family. You know, and I was winning a lot. You know, because I was still fighting in school. So it was times that, you know, when we'll fight in school, they'd make us spar in the gym. Like, we got to fight the big kids in the gym. I was getting so good that they was telling me, like, nah, we can't do that with you. You just gonna have to stay outside, stay out the gym. You know, so that's how it was.
They not with you no more, huh?
Yeah, that's when I used to just cry and things like that. I just loved the gym. You like, I used to get out of school at 2:30, and I wouldn't even go home. I'd go straight to the gym, and the gym don't open till like 4:30, 5 o'clock. So I used to sleep outside the gym before it opened. They used to, like, it was a daycare right next door, so they used to call the police on me, and like, this kid just out here homeless and things like that. But
you just couldn't wait to get in the gym.
Yeah, I just couldn't wait to get to the gym. Or I used to beat the people that opened the gym up, like even the daycare people. I used to beat them there, like I was working there or something. Like, I just loved it.
That's what's up, man. You found a sense of, you know, family and home, and you adapted to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm kind of similar too. My mom was around. My mom worked a lot, so my grandmother raised me too. And I know what basketball did for my life. You know what I'm saying? It took me a lot of places to change my whole family life. I wouldn't be able to do the things or have the life I live if it wasn't for basketball. And you know, I appreciate the game. Is boxing kind of the same way for you? Like, if it wasn't for boxing, you seen a lot of things, was able to do a lot of things for different people because of boxing?
Yeah, boxing definitely, you know, played a big part in my life. Like, if it wasn't for boxing, I don't know where I'd be at, you know, because, you know, ain't too many people big in my family. The people that, you know, I started with in the gym, you know, they eventually got killed in the streets. I couldn't help a lot of people. I used to come outside and see, like, people driving cars and wonder, because my grandmother had a van, but besides that, nobody else had a car. So I used to wonder, like, am I gonna be able to drive when I get older and things like that. So boxing definitely I would say it'd be a big part of my life. If it is my life and things like that, because it help you, you know, calm down and challenge your anger somewhere else, like inside the gym, instead of going outside the door and just doing anything, you know. So, and where I'm from is a small city, so it's easy to get in trouble there. So if you could focus in Baltimore, you could focus anywhere.
So you developed a real close personal friendship and almost mentor, father figure friendship with your coach and trainer, Calvin. Did you meet him early on, or what part of what age did you meet him at?
I met Calvin around probably when I first started boxing. But Calvin, I used to train with Calvin's son. Calvin's son started me off. His son is one of the guys that, you know, got killed too. So his son was training me, and we had another guy named Ramon Manley. That's who Cal was like highly on, because he was winning everything. He was from Baltimore, so he was the only one going through DC, everywhere, beating people, like top-notch people. He actually another one that got killed. So him having Ramon and his son was training me, so they used to always go back home, and like his son used to always tell Calvin about me. But Calvin was like, I was too young, so he was like, I'm not worrying about him right now, I'm worrying about Ramon, because he's traveling. So Ramon was winning everything, and Ramon got locked up for robbery or something. He tried to rob somebody and wound up getting caught. So he was gone for about like 5 years. So now it's me. Now I'm 10 years old and I'm start winning everything, like going places and things like that. So me and Calvin grew up bond. We grew up bond first by me just winning, us always together. So now I start going to his house. I start sleeping over his house and watching boxing. He used to make me watch boxing like till like 3 in the morning. And I'd be falling asleep. He'd tap me, wake me up, make sure that, you know, if you believe it, you can achieve it. And that's what he always taught me, and that's what I go by till this day.
That sounds similar. It sounds a lot like, you know, obviously Mike Tyson and Customato. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where he found that mentor, father figure that believed in him and made him believe in himself. And it turned out beautiful. Now, you've spoken a lot already in this interview about, I mean, we know your career, you're undefeated. You've obviously thrown hands your whole life. Is there anybody from the second grade on who's ever got you?
It was one time in a street fight I was fighting. I used to always fight a lot till I got a little older. But coming probably like to like the 6th grade to the 9th grade, I used to fight a lot. So one time we was fighting these group of boys, and my uncle called me. So when my uncle called me, I ran to him and was like, we up here like fighting. So I had to hurry up and try to get back. So when I hurried up and got back, my 2 homeboys said I ran on them. So they jumped me. So when they jumped me. So the next day I'm telling my uncle, cause my uncle staying with me now at my grandmother's crib. So I tell my uncle like, these boys jumped me. So I'm going to school and whenever one I see, I'm gonna knock them out like that. So the people might call you from school.
You gave a heads up.
Yeah, I gave them a heads up. So as soon as I walk in the building and I'm going towards the class, I see one of the guys. So when I see one of the guys,
it's on.
He started talking, and I just took when I'm mad, I'm real aggressive. So when I seen him, I just take my bag off and I just hit him in the mouth. But he actually beat me. But I started the fight out, so I was like, I don't care, like it won't happen again. You know it, like I'm smaller than everybody, so
you gotta respect
coming to school,
it.
so yeah. So once that
respect
first punch went off, I ain't really care if you whooped me after that. I got my leg off.
I gotta get my leg back, goddamn right. I gotta get my leg back.
Yeah.
So you're obviously from Baltimore, rep Baltimore to the fullest. They're very proud of you, awarding you the key to a city in a parade. Did a coin flip at the Ravens game. Tell me what Baltimore means to you.
Baltimore means a lot, you know. I don't think I had this mindset if it wasn't for Baltimore, because Baltimore is a tough city. You know, if you can make it through Baltimore, you know, you can make it through anywhere. If you know how to move through Baltimore, you can move through it anywhere. You know, so it just gave me that mindset. I think, you know, not saying it's all bad, but I'm from the inner city, so I see stuff daily and things like that. So it just gave me that. I wouldn't be me if I wasn't from Baltimore. It gave me that personality. You know the saying? It was something like, I forget the saying. It's like what you've been through. The city make you or break you. Like I wouldn't be me if I wouldn't even move the way I move if it wasn't for the inner city. And if I wouldn't.
What you've been through makes you who you are.
Tank. To come to date, toughest fight in your mind up to this point in your career?
I think this is the toughest, you know, opponent up to date because, you know, he had 37 wins and, you know, 1 loss and things like that. He's a 4-time world champion. So he's a tough Mexican, so I'm believing he's going to bring his best. So I think this definitely the toughest opponent.
He's busy with them hands. Most satisfying knockout up to this point in your career?
I want to say Pedraza because it was my first world title. You know, he was another undefeated Puerto Rican, so I think that was my toughest knockout.
Any boxers you look up to?
Not really look up to, but, you know, take pointers from them as Lamont Peterson, Anthony Peterson, Ty Barnett, Floyd Mayweather for sure, and Adrian Broner.
Mm-hmm. Adrian Broner, yes sir. Hey, a lot of people compare you to Lil Tyson, and you did an IG live with Tyson recently. What was that like?
During the IG live with Tyson, I seen when we first started talking, I seen that he still got that anger built up in him, like he been through something. He's still trying to relieve it, find a way to relieve it. That's what I got from it, but he overcame a lot. I think a lot of people, what I got from it, I don't know really for sure, but what I got from it, that, he put his life into boxing, for belts and things like that, and it really doesn't mean nothing to him now. He rather, fight for the money, whereas though he could be more, stable and things like that. That's what I got from it. I'm probably wrong, but that's what I got from it. That's what I was looking.
We all fight some demons though. We all fight inner demons. Not just Mike, not just anybody. You know what I'm saying? We all fighting something in us in certain parts of life. But at the end of the day, like you said, I didn't see Mike on a lot of his shows. I watch his podcast too. And Mike, and that's just a part of being a man and growing. I can imagine me playing basketball, and how physical the game is. And I can imagine boxing, walking away from basketball, my body feels different. I still have that adrenaline to want to go play and still be physical, but I got to channel that now because my life is different. You know what I'm saying? I know that's not even compared to how boxing is, from fighting somebody for 10, 15 years and having just all of a sudden just not. So, I commend guys like you and Mike and boxers, period, who are able to go in the ring, try to tear somebody head off, but then come out and be a good model citizen, somebody that people look up to.
Yeah, it's definitely hard, just training, period, losing weight, just everything, like evolved with boxing, leading up to the big fights, even the fight that, the lights, the crowd, and the opponent, the judges, and things like that. It just you gotta be a strong person to be able to deal with it.
And then that's not even to mention all, like I said earlier, all the outside distractions. I mean, people trying to come in your circle, females trying to pull fast ones. So there's a whole lot of. That's one thing I want to try to gain my sons with. My sons are 11 years old, but this is a whole different beast out here, just the way the world is ran and how it's, the games are played, and to be able to keep a tight circle and be able to stay focused on the task at hand is always, man, definitely a hats off. Mike also mentioned that you're his favorite current boxer. How does that make you feel when you have a legend, speaking that highly on you?
It felt great. It just it's like, it just I'm not far on far as like big, so it's still like I'm still starting out and things like that. So just having him, saying things like one of the greats. And I remember when they called the greats out. I think it was after a fight or something, and they was calling they called Mike Tyson out, they called Holyfield, and it was somebody else, I think Leonard Lewis. And when they called Mike Tyson, the crowd went crazy. So just having him just say like I'm one of his favorite fighters, it means a lot. It means that I'm definitely on the right track.
Mike is, since we're talking about Mike, he's training to get back in the ring. What are your thoughts about him and Roy Jones potentially fighting at the end of November?
Roy better not do that.
Yeah, I think
what I said, bro.
It's gonna be crazy. It's gonna definitely be crazy. I'm definitely gonna be watching.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
July 14, 2014, you took a picture with Floyd, signed your phone case, and said "Future Champ." What was that like? Like I said, another experience where an all-time great is giving you praise. What was that like back in 2014, and then everything to come full circle now that you're under Mayweather Promotions?
I always live in the moment. So around that time, I really didn't, really wasn't. I was grateful to be in, that his presence. But far as like from just leading up to me signing with Mayweather Promotion, I was saying that I was gonna, even before he went to jail, I was saying that I was signing with the only promoter I would ever sign with was, Mayweather Promotions. And before that, I was saying, me and my coach Calvin Ford, we was talking about signing with Al before we signed with Floyd, and everything was playing out as we were saying it. So it just, I feel like I'm on the right track. I'm doing the right things. I have right people in my corner and things like that. And, you know, I'm undefeated, so we doing the right thing.
How's your relationship grown though? Like since you with him, I know like y'all was cool before y'all actually start doing business together. But how has your relationship grown? You know, since because I seen him at the fight here in Atlanta, your last fight. I seen him in the ring with that. I can't remember what kind it was, but it was like a $20,000 jacket he had on, which is all glass.
Oh yeah,
oh
yeah,
my
yeah,
God!
yeah.
But how's y'all relationship grown? You know, since y'all start doing business together.
Our relationship grown a lot. You know, just at first I didn't really know him like that. You know, so it was like. Like if I don't really know you, I shy away from you. Like I'm really quiet and things like that. But it's like a father and son bond, I would say. Like because he has sons that you know don't box, and I box, and I was around him a lot of times. You know when he was traveling and when he first signed me. You know, so I was with him probably like 24/7. So he just you know he more hands on and things like that. Like he be. Like you saying at the fight, he was in the corner. You know, he was down there like he was my coach or something. You know,
yeah, he was in it.
He was in the
Yeah.
ring. You know, so
Yeah.
I believe I think that's best for me. I think because it give me the advantage over a lot of other fighters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Do you feel any pressure? You like you said, you pay-per-view now. You know what I'm saying? It's a big fight for you. You fighting a 4-time champ. Do you feel any pressure about this fight than any other fight?
I had pressure, but I say that it's always I challenge it. I make it good pressure. You know, I don't let it, you know, take a toll on me because I seen a lot of fighters slip up. You know, because they let the pressure, you know, weigh them down and things like that. You know, so the only pressure with me that I say like I had big on my shoulder that the performance that I want to put on.
Yeah.
You know, I want
Yeah.
I want to give
style,
the
right.
best performance I can possibly have. You know, that night because of my first pay-per-view. Boxing was off for some months and things like that. So I definitely want to give the fans, you know, that money worth.
I got a saying that I got, and it goes, I make love to pressure. When they gave me the ball in the 4 quarters and they thought it was pressure, I made love to it. You know what I'm saying? You know, that's basically what we do.
A lot of people don't have that. A lot of people crumble under pressure. So if you can, you know, deal with, you know, control it and things like that under pressure, then you special.
Exactly.
Absolutely. I have 3 sons. I don't know how many kids my co-host has, but we're fathers. You had your first daughter in 2018. How did that change your life?
It changed my life by, you know, just being more patient. You know, I seem to, you know, rush things before I had a child and things like that. And, you know, just going through it, just seeing her mother, you know, in that pain and stuff like that. You know, it just made me appreciate, you know, her more and things like that. And as far as a person, it changed me by, you know, having more patience. But as far as a fighter, I'm always going to be a fighter. So I know how to turn it on and off around her. You know, when I'm with her, I'm more soft. But when I'm like in the ring or outside, I'm more, you know, harder.
Now, what about when she turns 15, 16, 17, 18, wants to start dating? What tank is she gonna get?
Just I'll be more understandable, understand her more, like talk. I want her to be able to come talk to me before she'll talk to someone else.
Yeah.
You know, I want to be that father. I don't want her to shy away from me. You know, I don't want to be hard on her, but she know it. I want her to know that, you know, it's always a right and wrong, and, you know, discipline.
Yeah, I got 5 girls, bro. So I understand, and you know, I always wanted to be a point where we had an understanding where you can come talk to me about everything, anything. Don't feel like you can't talk to me about it. You know what I'm saying? So that's a great way to look at it. But being away from your daughter, training during this pandemic, how has it been?
It's been hard being away from my daughter. You know, she actually here, she sleep, but just, you know, being away from her, like, because this is my first time being in camp so long and far away, so just being away from it was a little touchy. But I know when I'm up, you know, up against. You know, I know that I got pay-per-view. You know, I know I'm fighting a tough opponent, so really I know how to lock in. I know how to shy away from everything. I know how to understand what I'm into. You know, that's what's best part about me. Like I know I fool around, but when it's time to lock in, you know, it's time to lock in.
Daddy got to put food
she
on the
here
table.
now.
Yeah,
that's another thing, you know. So
You mentioned it earlier, but you've had a tough time making 130 your past couple fights. Has your diet changed, or the fact that your training camp has been longer or almost 2 times as long as your normal training camps? How has that played into, because you said you're sitting comfortable right now, you won't have a problem getting down to that 130 on fight night?
camp been, you know, I don't think it's gonna be a hard time for me to make weight. You know, as far as the bubble wise, I don't know about the bubble. I never been there, but they said that it's trash. So, but now I feel like I can make it. I'm making it easily. I'm walking around close to weight. You know, if I wanted to make weight 2 days from now, I can make it and things like that. You know, I know people is definitely worrying about me making weight, and that's the big factor. And it's a penalty. So if I don't know what it is, but I know it's some money involved. So
you don't want to find out.
Yeah. So I'm definitely making weight
Exactly.
for sure.
Yes, sir.
So obviously, since your last fight, the world has changed. Not only with the pandemic, social justice, the whole nine. We're somewhat slowly but surely starting to come back to some sort of normalcy. This will be the first fight back with fans. This will be your first fight on pay-per-view. Tell me what it's going to be like to know that you're going to put on a show for the first time in front of fans.
I'm one of the person that I'm grateful. You know, I'm grateful that it's me that's, you know, the first person that's bringing it back. I'm just soaking it all in. I'm just appreciative. You know, that's why I'm working hard each and every day. You know, so I could be able to put on a great performance and things like that. You know, and I'm young. I'm 25 years old, so I'm definitely, you know, still learning and things like that, and I'm just happy to be in the position I am right now. I'm thankful for my team to be able to say this guy should be pay-per-view and things like that. So as far as my give back to them, I want to put on a great performance. I want to make weight the first time and things like that.
Your top 5 fighters in the history.
I want to say Floyd Mayweather, Sugar Ray Leonard,
Nice.
Mike Tyson, Pernell Whitaker.
Man, Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea. Sweet Pea.
Sweet Pea. And Aaron Pride.
And Pride.
Ooh,
Man, hey,
okay.
Aaron
Like
Pride
that.
had that movement, boy. I'm talking about.
Yeah. Yeah.
Couldn't catch him.
Yeah, for sure.
When it's all said and done, what do you want them, when you're done with the sport of boxing, what do you want them to remember most about you?
I want to be one of them greats, but I wanna have an impact where as though something like change, something like not like Floyd, but I want to change it. As far as I want to have a great impact on the sport, like be great, be one of the greatest, but I also want to be able to, you know, live outside after boxing. You know, I want to be able to be that person. Like, I don't want to be banged up after a fight or anything. I mean, after my career and things like that. I want to be able to get out successful. I want to be able to retire young, and even if I retire young or come back, I want to be able to, you know, come back on when I want to, and not when because I don't have enough money and things like that. Because I have a family, I have my own life outside of boxing, so I always want to be looked at one of them guys that, you know, that's took care of himself. Just be one of the greats in the sport and outside the sport.
Gervonta Davis, man, we appreciate your time. Good luck. Halloween night, October 31st, San Antonio, Texas, the Alamo Dome. If you need SA protection, Jack is only a call away.
Yes, sir. Thank you
Well,
for
good
sure.
luck, bro. No doubt, we are big fans, man. Good luck the
bro.
rest of the way, man. We appreciate your time today.
I appreciate
Appreciate you, bro.
That's a wrap. All the Smoke, Season 2, Tank Davis. Little talk to us before his big fight coming up on Halloween. You can catch this on Showtime Basketball YouTube and the iHeart platform. We'll see y'all next time.
Peace.
TV taught me how to dream. It was a life jacket. I don't think you can be an artist and not touch people.